All right, welcome to our channel. Now, if you have somehow stumbled across us deep diving into travel content on YouTube, we are glad that you are here. So we thought we'd take a minute to properly introduce ourselves and answer all of your questions that have been sent through on Instagram and tell you what this whole adventure is all about. All right, so who are we? I'm Jackson.
I'm Emily.
And we're just a young couple in our 20s that dreamt of something bigger. We're just a couple of ordinary humans with a not so ordinary dream to travel the entire way across Australia in our GU Patrol. Nothing but our gear and just a heap of camera batteries. We are mad about the outdoors and getting off as far off the beaten track as possible. This isn't just a holiday. This is a full-blown lap around Australia, 16 months off the grid, and we're going to be capturing every single moment. The highs, the lows, the breakdowns, the wins and losses, and everything in between. This channel is going to be full of travel vlogs, location reviews, Q&As, four-wheel drive modifications, fishing, adventure, and everything in between. If you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to find it right here. Our goal is to inspire you guys to get out there and explore Australia. We're going to be showing you all the raw moments traveling around Australia and show you what it's really like living full-time on the road. All right, so let's get into it. We've got a heap of questions to go through. All of you guys sent through a heap of questions on Instagram.
We weren't planning to work along the way, but then everything just went wrong and we had to spend a lot of money fixing everything. So now we have no choice and we're stuck in Perth.
So yeah, being stuck on the other side of the country definitely makes things a bit hard when you've got things wrong. You'll probably see in the last video of the trailer going upside down, so that's brought a bit of a setback. So I think we're planning on possibly going into the mines for a couple months to then cash up a little bit and hopefully save a bit of money so then we can keep this dream going. All right, question number 3. Have we had any close calls or scary moments so far?
Oh, every day.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier talking about the times that we haven't had close moments. It was week 1 of our trip.
It was like day 2.
Yeah, I think it was actually 2 days into properly traveling. We were in sort of country New South Wales going up to a waterfall. And on the way back down from the waterfall, some guy basically, it was a dirt road, and he went around the corner too fast and he pushed his car off the side of the road and crashed it into a pole and into some trees. I came around the corner and these 2 people were standing in the middle of the road pretty much on a corner. So as I've come around the corner, I then jumped on the brakes, and me being, pretty much close to 5 ton with the whole trailer set up in the car, the car actually skidded and we went off the road. And yeah, we almost went off the side of a mountain and almost died. So that was pretty scary. So yeah, the car
have all the fun.
Yeah, the car went completely off the embankment and crashed through some trees. And yeah, that was it. I managed to drive it out. There was a few, we broke the snorkel and the mirror and a few dents and scratches on the door, but we were okay. The car made it out, which is all that matters.
Oh, mate, not so much.
Yeah. So another scary moment was the trailer flipping. We lost the U-bolt from underneath the trailer, which meant the axle completely drove itself underneath the trailer and flipped. So yeah, we're only doing about 20k an hour and heard a massive bang behind the car. And yeah, to our surprise, the trailer was upside down. I don't even know how, but yeah, shit happens. And another scary thing that we had happen, it was only a week into converting the whole car to full air suspension in the rear. We were traveling on Moreton Island and it was only day 2, and the brackets that Airbag Man supply as a bolt-in kit basically ripped the coil seat off the diff, and we exploded an airbag, which meant we had nothing holding the weight of the car on the very north end of the island on Moreton Island. So this was only about 1 week into traveling into Queensland. And then we had to get the car towed off of Moreton back to our cousin's property on the Gold Coast.
I just blew up my TD. Tell me what's the secret to having a happy TD?
Doing regular maintenance. These old vehicles, you have to stay on top of everything. Ongoing maintenance is everything. Make sure servicing is all up to date. Buy nothing but the best for these cars. You throw shit parts at them, they're bound to fail. I've learnt that the hard way. buying cheap, superior shit. Spend the money, buy once, cry once. You'll thank yourself in the long run 100 times over. You just have to stay on top of maintenance on these vehicles and they will last forever. This car has done, we just clicked over, I think 425,000 and it drives like it's brand new. So stay on top of it.
What are you most excited about with the trip overall?
Definitely being able to wake up every day and not going to work. That is a massive, massive plus. And yeah, just being outside and being able to do this all the time. It's pretty amazing being able to do these things every single day. And I think that big leap into going out and doing this, yeah, we're so grateful that we get to do this every single day, and it's amazing. What sort of rooftop tent do you guys have?
We have the Bush Company AX27, and it's probably, in my opinion, the best thing that we have put on the car. It was definitely an investment, but after having 2 other rooftops that were absolutely terrible, it was worth every cent.
100%, definitely.
What's your fuel consumption like? She's thirsty.
Yeah, thirsty, but
not
I
really.
suppose in comparison to people that are, you know, in Y62s, towing vans or even 200 series, massive setups, it's not terrible when you think of it. The car is very heavy, just as it is right now. We are pretty much at 4 tonne plus the trailer. We went over a weighbridge and we were 5 tonne. So yeah, our fuel consumption at the moment, I've actually fiddled around with the pump and tuned it to a point where I'm pretty happy with it, and we're getting about 500 Ks with the car, 500 to a tank as it is right now, which is pretty good. Before that, it was around 450, just depending on, yeah, if we're driving on dirt roads. Obviously, if we're doing a bit of forward driving in the mix or a bit of low range, it's going to be a little bit worse, but generally around the 500 a tank, which is, I believe, around 17 to 18 litres per 100.
What's one mod or piece of gear you thought you'd need but never used at all?
My guitar.
That's not really a mod,
I
but
bought,
we brought it.
yeah, I love playing guitar. It's, I suppose, one of my passions. I brought it with me as an absolute must. I'm not leaving without it. It sat in the car and it was nothing but a headache. It was up on top of the drawers, and every time we'd pull a chair out, it would get stuck. It would get jammed on things. It was just making an absolute nuisance. So I actually sent it back to Victoria. So I'm not going to see my guitar for probably another 12 months, which is pretty sad. What is your go-to meal when we're on the road, you're tired, lower on supplies, or out in the bush?
We've never really been low on supplies, thankfully, but I reckon probably the one meal that we've made when we're tired and feeling pretty shit is like wraps or something. Those
Yeah.
peri peri wraps that we make.
Yeah, chicken peri peri wraps.
They're really
I think
good
we're going to
and
start
so
a bit
easy
of
to
a
make.
cooking bit in the sort of vlog videos. So
Oh, that'll be chaotic.
yeah, very chaotic, but I think it'll be good. I think it's a good insight. And if you guys have got any meals that you guys love and cooking out in the bush, leave them down in the comments, because yeah, I'd be very open to trying some new recipes. How's the trailer? Very upside down.
What camera do you use?
So I'm using, I suppose, 3 cameras. I might cover this in a whole separate video in itself, but in the general scheme of things, we're using the Sony A7 III, which is what we're filming on right now. And I've also got the DJI Action 5 and the DJI Mini 4 drone. Yeah, with a few different lenses, they pretty much cover everything that we need, and yeah, they've been absolutely amazing. But I think I'll probably make a video in itself on that, of all of our gear that we use.
What lift and tyre size are you running?
Oh, that old question.
That old chestnut.
That old chestnut. 3-inch 35s, so 3-inch springs in the front with 35s. We're running the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss MTs. The best tyre I've ever run, hands down. In the rear, It is a full air conversion from Airbag Man, so it's a 3 to 4 inch lift in the rear. And yeah, it's completely adjustable from being slammed right down on the tyre all the way up to a 4 inch lift. So yeah.
What other suspension mods are you running?
So up front, we've got the Superior Hyperflex radius arms. And all around the car, we're running the 2.5 inch BP 51s. Amazing shock, absolutely love them. Airbags in the rear, which is already covered, and we are running a torsion bar setup, which is a Danix torsion bar that I've had welded in, and yeah, that was an absolute game changer to the car. Made it drive so much better, and especially with a lot of weight, so much better than just your traditional sway bar.
Is there anything you'd change in your setup, and why?
Definitely weight. It's a very hard. We've kept it in consideration the entire time building the car, but it crept up on us so quickly. I've tried cutting weight in every single area possible, and it's pretty much. I couldn't really cut anything more out of the car.
We use it all, so.
Yeah, we use everything in the car. So Patrols themselves, they're heavy cars as is, so you stuck a lot of weight on it, it's going to be heavy. But I suppose you'll see with our sort of new build that's coming along, I think we're going to be running something a bit different behind the car and changing the canopy setup completely. So
And the 12 volt setup as well.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's a big one, is that we've had a fair bit of dramas with 12 volt. So I think I'm going to go to a bigger lithium setup, just because on days like, I suppose, today, we're not getting much solar. After, some pretty bad weather, we seem to be running out of battery a little bit. So a bigger lithium setup, definitely. What's one place that completely surprised you, good or bad, and why?
Esperance. I loved Esperance.
Yeah, that place is incredible. I mean, I already had pretty high hopes, but I suppose seeing it firsthand, crazy.
Like, you see photos and videos and stuff of it, but like in real life, it is so much better.
Yeah, and I think
the wild horses we've seen pretty much top that off too.
And that was the first time Em had ever seen or been even in WA or seen WA water. I've told her how blue it is, and yeah, you really can't express how blue water is until you see it yourself, and yeah, it blows you away. What has been your favourite spot and why?
Probably Hellfire Bay.
Yeah, that was a really fun spot. So yeah, I think as a whole, Cape Legrand National Park.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
But
that's
Hellfire
sort of been,
Bay in particular.
Yeah, that's been a big highlight of our trip so far. Other than that, I'd probably say, I'm going to include it anyway, Victorian High Country.
Yeah,
that's our favourite spot.
Victorian High Country.
Yeah, we're really missing the Vic High Country at the moment. That's our favourite spot, and I think that'll hold a pretty special place in our hearts with us, I suppose. Are you happy that you bought a four-wheel drive and not a Golf? Talk about it. Yes. Once upon a time, I didn't really know anything about four-wheel drives. Before I was 18, four-wheel driving has never really been much in our family or anything, up until I discovered it when I bought a Hilux back when I was 18. Before that, I was into street cars, and I'm so glad that I never went down that path, because
so am I.
Four-wheel driving has opened up my life into so many different avenues and meeting so many different people. Like Em, if I never had my car, we probably never would have crossed paths. And I think, yeah, I've made some lifelong friends along the way. So definitely, four-wheel driving is a very big part of my life, and I'm glad that it's here to stay.
How did you two meet?
What a funny story. So I was working in Bondi in New South Wales, and Em is from country New South Wales, so it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I was working. Before that, we had been talking over Instagram for a little bit, and the story goes is I put up a post on my Instagram as an April Fool's joke, selling my old Hilux for a stupid cheap price. And she she hit up my DMs. And
I shoot my shot.
Yeah, she shot a shot, and she offered me a 6-pack and a zinger box, which was an offer I couldn't refuse. So yeah, that's how we got talking, and we talked for a few months until I pulled a sickie one day when I was working and drove out to go meet her, and yeah, it's been fairy tale ever since.
Pretty much never left.
She hasn't left me.
What's one luxury item in your setup that you refuse to live without? I'd say probably the speaker, because we used to travel with like this massive
Big
what was
JBL,
it? Yeah.
JBL boombox
and
looking
it used
thing.
to take up like half a freaking car.
Yeah.
That's probably like the number one thing I couldn't live without.
That's an Eco X gear speaker that we've got mounted up in the canopy, and it never leaves. It's always on every night. Yeah, we absolutely love it. Us being two pretty big music heads, I suppose. Yeah, I could not live without music, so that's been a very big part of our setup.
If you had to strip down your whole setup to just 3 essential items aside from anything four-wheel drive, what would you keep?
I'm going to say a fridge, got to keep the beers cold, rooftop, somewhere to sleep, and an awning. An awning has been a massive part. Honestly, I wouldn't travel without an awning. It's the best thing in hot weather. Get away from the sun, a bit of shade. Yeah, I would not leave without.
Yeah, we went camping in the Grampians for a weekend, and then it started pissing down with rain. And then next
that
day,
too.
went to the four-wheel drive show and bought the awning.
Yeah, literally.
What's your most used item, and what's something you wish you had?
We pretty much use everything on the car. There's not a single thing on or in the car that we don't use. So I'm going to say everything. I know it's a bit of a broad answer, but the car is set up so well for us. We use absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And I suppose one thing we wish we had was aircon. When it's stupid hot up in the rooftop, yeah, I think...
Somewhere to just escape the weather would be nice.
Caravan.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
What do you use to keep the patrol cool with all the weight?
It's a mixture of a lot of things. I think if you're struggling with heat in your TD, one thing that I would definitely go and try is this stuff that I started using recently called RMI 25. It's an additive that you put into your coolant that basically cleans out all the shit in your whole cooling system. Definitely go try that. But yeah, a mixture. I run a front mount intercooler, the standard tall radiator. I believe that the genuine radiator is better than any other. You know, you don't want to put a massive radiator in these things. Nissan had it right when they built the car, believe it or not. And yeah, Dirk's water pump is a big one. That definitely helps. And another one, if you're struggling with heat, is go get yourself I believe it's a Daycore thermostat. You'll find them on Quick As, I believe. They're a longer thermostat that basically, the genuine thermostat, when it's fully open, it blocks that bypass valve still slightly, and it doesn't allow full coolant to the radiator. So there is some coolant that actually never escapes the block, and it just keeps running laps around the block. So I put that thermostat in, and yeah, we've been happy days ever since. I never see anything over 95 like absolutely wringing its guts out anymore. It usually sits around 80 to 85, and yeah, I could be towing with a full setup uphill in fifth, and yeah, I don't really see anything above 95 anymore. That's the max it'll get.
What advice would you give someone planning to do a lap?
Go and do it.
Just do it, just send it.
Stop thinking about it and go and do it. I think it's a massive thing that people think that, oh, I don't have the money to do it, I don't have the right car, I don't have this and that. I think we make so much excuses for ourselves to not go and do something rather than going and doing it. And I think, yeah, that's been a massive thing, to just put everything aside, face the music and just go and do it. I think,
Yeah.
but I suppose as a piece of advice is talk to other people that have done it. Watch our videos. Subscribe.
And like. And don't wait until you're older.
Yeah, I think people think, oh, you know, I'm young, or you know, if they have a family, you know, that they're too young to go and do it, and they're going to wait and do all this stuff when they're older. Go out and do it while you're young. These are the years when you can go out and do things and appreciate things. You know, when you're 60 years old, you're not going to want to go hike up that mountain. You can't.
We have seen lots of people do it, but...
Oh, they struggle. We went and done a cave walk the
honestly,
other day, and half of the old people couldn't make it down the stairs to go and, you know, look at these amazing caves.
Sad. So
Yeah, I would suggest to absolutely anyone, go out and do it while you're young. You can work anywhere. You can go and do it. It doesn't matter what car you have, you can make it work. Doesn't matter your situation, you'll find work anywhere. You can go and do it. Just go out and enjoy it, and don't let anyone tell you no. Denzel Frothingtons, where are you? Ready for this? Double beer crack. Oh, that was a good one.
how do you plan out the locations of what you want to see?
Wiki Camps is a must. Definitely download Wiki Camps. That's got all different points of interest and all your campsites, all that sort of stuff.
Information centres?
Yeah.
Surprisingly. I thought it was just for old people, but...
Yeah, I thought information centres was just an old person's thing. Honestly, I could not recommend enough. Literally every town, we pretty much stop at an information centre now. They have been so helpful. I never thought that it would be, because, you know, us young people, you just sort of think, oh, yeah, everything's on your phone, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Instagram's a big one, and YouTube.
Well.
But, yeah, information centres, they have a lot of stuff that you don't see on your phone. Go talk to people, and it's, yeah, especially listen to local advice.
Yeah.
Locals generally know where spots are good. So, yeah, definitely go out and, yeah, talk to people. That's your best bet of finding where to go. And, yeah, your plan will change everywhere you go. But, yeah, you'll really find some amazing places if you start searching a little bit further out, a bit further off the beaten track, and listen to locals. Definitely.
Yeah. And if you're planning like months and months in advance, when you see like a cool spot on like Instagram or something, pin it in like maps so you don't miss it when you're driving through.
Google Maps or Apple Maps, you can now pin all your locations. When we were at home originally planning for this trip, I went to Officeworks and I printed out a massive map that was like, it was huge, and we pinned it up onto the wall, and we wrote down all these locations and pinned everywhere that we wanted to go. And now we also have that on our phone. So map out where you want to go, get a good route going, and
but don't plan it too much and too strictly, I suppose, because the plan's always going to change. Like we were supposed to be up in
Cape York right now.
Cape York, almost on our way up to Cape York, and now we're over in Western Australia.
Yeah.
So
I think that was a big thing, is I didn't want to plan it too much. I sort of wanted to, instead of having like a set itinerary of where we had to be at this point, I sort of just wanted to go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens.
Just pinpoint where you want to see. Don't
plan roughly where you want to go, but don't cross the T's and dot the I's. Just go and enjoy it.
How do you deal with long drives?
I don't. I go delusional. That trip across the Nullarbor, I'm pretty good with like long drives, but I suppose when it's the two of you and you're together and it's nothing but that the entire way,
and just a straight road,
it started getting to me. I started getting very delusional. But yeah, break up the drive, go for a walk, try see spots along the way. I don't know, stop at servos. Yeah, listen to music, have a sleep.
I can't sleep in the car. How do you stay in touch with family and friends?
Well, that's a good one. We have Starlink. it's stupid expensive, but I suppose it's definitely worth it. That lets us stay in contact with our family the entire time. We FaceTime our family every couple of days, check in. And yeah, Facebook and just messages and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, just, I don't know, ring your mates as much as you can. Because yeah, it is lonely at the end of the day doing this stuff sometimes. I suppose as a couple we're a little bit introverted in that sense that we don't mind being just ourselves out here. We probably prefer it really. But yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a lonely life, I suppose. You know, it's just us two all the time. We both love it, but yeah, call up your mates as much as you can and get them to call you. Don't let them forget, because yeah, you get sick of each other sometimes, and you just need a phone call every now and again. So I think yeah, just keep in touch with people as much as you can. How do you keep your battery system / solar power setup going strong, especially during cloudy and wet stretches?
We don't.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of it, we try to as much as we can. I'm running 275 amps of AGM battery and 460 watt of solar. I find myself running out of power a lot, especially recently. It's been pretty good up until about 2 weeks ago. We've had really, really good sunny weather. But now after the trailers, I've now got the surfboard on top of the solar panels and I'm not getting as much power back in. And yeah, every couple of days we're having to go back to a caravan park, which I hate.
I don't like caravan parks.
And have to go and charge back up the batteries. But yeah, we just try and manage it as best as we can. If it means driving a little bit further to charge the batteries, that's it. But we're going to try and change that further down the road with our setup.
Yeah, very soon.
So what's the most remote or gnarly track that you've done so far, and would you do it again? Excluding back when I would go out forward driving with this just as a ute, I don't love wheeling it too hard now. I'll still go out and do as much as I can, but with the weight, it does make it a bit heavy going. I suppose remote-wise, we went down through Birdsville all the way through the Simpson Desert, and that was pretty remote. You don't see anyone out there, and it was during off-season as well, so there was like no one at all, and it was like 46 degrees, and we almost got horribly bogged after a massive rain in the Simpson Desert. So yeah,
that was the first video that we posted.
Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, remoteness, definitely probably that. And then gnarly, there's been
nothing really. I'd say it's
yeah, nothing too bad.
Yeah.
A couple little almost rollovers, but that's been alright so far. It's been pretty good.
Has the trip changed how you see home?
Yes, definitely.
I hate Victoria.
Yeah, I got a very funny relationship with Victoria. It's my home and where I come from. Being there, I hate it because I just want to get out and explore Australia. But I also think being out here, I also miss Victoria a lot. I miss it in a lot of senses of not only family and friends. It's more, I don't know, I feel like I've never really done Victoria properly as a traveling sort of perspective. It's always weekend trips and the long weekend. There's never, it's never somewhere where you can really, you know, living there and you have a job, you can't go out and explore places properly. So I'd love to actually go back and do it properly again. And spend a lot more time in places where we couldn't in just a weekend span. I definitely miss free camping. We're pretty spoiled, us Victorians, with free camping. Over in WA, you pay for a campsite pretty much every night.
This is our first free camping.
Yeah, today this is a free camp, but we have spent so much money on camping fees and having to go to caravan parks and all that sort of stuff. National parks passes, all that sort of stuff. It's very expensive touring on the other side of the country, where I think we take it for granted a little bit. In Victoria, I don't think I've ever paid for a campsite in my life, and I've stayed at some pretty spectacular camp spots. Whether it's
Probably a few of the best that we've been at.
whether it's the high country or Great Ocean Road or the Murray or Grampians, yeah, we've had some pretty epic camp spots, and I've never paid a cent for camping. So we definitely miss home in that aspect.
Was it more or less expensive than you expected?
Way more expensive. In a sense, I think you can definitely make this stuff work on a little budget if you stay really strict with yourselves.
You just get to
But you get lost in
happy.
it. Yeah, you get a bit lost in it. Food is a massive killer. Food is so expensive nowadays, and I would have loved to gone around touring this country maybe 10, 15 years ago. You probably would have had a lot more bang for your buck. But I suppose in the reality of it, not to get too political, but Australia is changing in a lot of ways, and four-wheel drives are getting shut out of this country, and it's really sad to see. They're trying to shut down national parks and four-wheel drive tracks, and you know, things are getting taken back from the people. People can't go out to places, you know, Cape York will probably be shut down in a few years. There's so many tracks all around this country that it's that are getting shut down. So we're making it a massive priority to go out and see this stuff before we can't. Unfortunately, I think that if we weren't to do it now, honestly, I don't think our kids would really be around to see half of the country anymore.
With how things are going, no.
Yeah, Australia's changing in a lot of ways, and I hope that as a four-wheel drive community, our voice is sort of heard. Because yeah, the way that things are going, it's not looking great. So we're making it a big priority to get out here and go and do it before we can't. What's your favourite beer? VB, baby. VB stocks. I mean, we're drinking 4X ginger beer right now, but yeah, VB through and through. Yeah, I'm surprised I don't have a VB tattoo, to be honest.
Have you had to dodge any cyclones, floods or fires?
Yes. We went to Fraser Island, which is something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. We got to Fraser, and 1 hour of being there, we got evacuated off the island, and Cyclone Alfred took out the whole island, and yeah, we never got to see it. I drove halfway up the beach and turned around, and that was it.
Yeah. Will you keep travelling after this, or are you ready to stay still? I really want to do New Zealand.
Yeah.
And then Nashville after, and all that sort of around there.
Yeah, I'd love to go and do
Texas and Wyoming and stuff.
a little bit of country America would be sick. Not really too interested in much of...
No cities like New York and stuff. I'm not interested in
not
that.
really any like coastal cities or any of that sort of jazz, but
New Zealand, 100% after this.
yeah, and Tassie. It's a part of Australia, but I suppose it's a bit forgotten that it's a part of Australia sometimes. Really want to go spend a fair bit of time down in Tassie. It looks stunning out there. What's one thing you want to tell your past self before starting the lap?
Stop stressing.
Yeah, don't stress over little things. Just go out and do it. There was so much worry and can we do it? Can we afford to do this? And, you know, rah, rah, rah.
Are you sure we want to do it?
You know, yeah, there was so much self-doubt. Nah, just go out and do it. Don't even hesitate. Don't even let that like come to mind. Just
do it.
If you want to do it,
just send it.
Yeah, just send it. What would be your must-do mods to a four-wheel drive to go and do Australia? I'm going to say a good set of tyres, 100%. Good suspension.
A snorkel
and an awning. I think if you've got those, you could go pretty much every... Oh, and like a fridge and a basic 12-volt setup. I think if you can keep your food cold, drinks cold, you have shade, and you're comfortable driving the car, you'll go anywhere. A lot of Australia you could go and see in a stock car, like
Yeah.
to be truthful. Not all of it is for show, but it's definitely you know, quite
Just
a
to go
comfort
a bit
having this stuff.
further.
And yeah, you'll definitely go a bit further
You'll
with
see more.
the more that you go, but you'll get around. You'll see a lot of Australia with just the bare essentials, really. Where are some of your bucket list locations that you want to go to around Australia? I'm going to say the Kimberleys, Karajini, the Ningaloo Coast, and
Cape York. What's next?
what's next? The whole of Australia, really. We've only barely scratched the surface of what we want to achieve with this sort of stuff. So there's going to be a lot more travel content coming. I think probably a fair bit. I might do a little series on its own on building a car. And yeah, a whole lot more.
Rundown of the car.
Yeah,
That'll be coming out soon.
Yeah, we'll be doing a full rundown of the car, so look out for that as well. We're going to go through everything on the car, top to bottom. All right, that's pretty much going to be a wrap of everything. So if you guys have got any more questions, ask them down in the comment section below. And we'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on this video, and we'll see you later.